All right, hello everyone. Welcome back for the zero people who watch this to session 4 of our new
Yeah.
campaign.
Hi,
How's everyone
Mike,
doing?
rewatching it.
Hi. Yes. Hello. Hello, me. Um, actually, I saw that we actually did get a few viewers, um, and it wasn't all me this time. So
Ooh, just
yeah,
mostly me.
Ooh,
yeah,
the word is spreading.
yeah. Well, yeah. I think we've got like 20. No, we got sort of 10 viewers from a different country. So
Oh
Nice.
God.
Which
yeah,
country was it?
Albania. No, I don't know. Anyway, so how's everyone doing? Good. Ready to get
Good.
started?
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. Cool. Well, if everyone's got drinks and are ready, then we shall begin. Right. So let's put the music on. Last we left off, then. The party, our adventurers, last we left our adventurers, you went to the town of Eilishire to speak to a contact of Don Iden Veganzas, who had suspected the Wood Elves, the Rodrons, of being responsible somehow for killing the Sea Lord, the second in command of Port Edrin. So being sent there to sort of speak to a contact of Don Iden's, you realise that he had gone missing. The apothecary. So too had a number of sheep from the Pimpkins farm that you discovered when you were staying at Yarrow's parents' sort of inn. And there you met Yarrow and learnt that she had found an elven brooch from some ruins a few miles into the woods. As your first lead, you decided to go there and you asked her to guide you, and she sort of joined your group for the adventure. But once you got there, you were stopped by a squad of Rodrons who were guarding the ruins for some reason. Before you stands 4 Rodran elves in dark flowing clothes, covered in moss and mud. They look weary and exhausted. Their weapons are drawn. They seem ready for battle, and sort of suspicion in a lot of their faces. Above you in the trees are a further 5 or 6 elves, their bows drawn, also aimed at you. The leader of the group steps forward in surprise and pulling down his black cloth mask. And Hinera, you see before you the face of your brother Simeon, long thought lost in battle, having joined the elves in their invasion. He says in Elvish, "Sister, what are you doing here?"
It's a long story. What are you doing here?
He sort of like turns around, and one of the elves to his right, a sort of weary looking, sort of thinner, sort of lankier elf, wearing sort of black sort of face paint to sort of disguise himself into the woods a bit more. He sort of whispers into Simeon's ear. You see your brother before you. He looks a bit different to when you last saw him. Before he was sort of a bit fuller in stature. Now it looks like he's been living in the woods for quite a while. He has like large bags under his eyes. He's got like sort of bit of stubble, starting to grow into a beard, which isn't very common for elves to like groom a beard out. So it's more that he's probably not had much chance recently to groom himself. But he turns and sort of begins to almost sort of like whisper a small little argument with the guy next to him. He turns and says, "This place is dangerous to you. You all must leave. I can't be responsible for you here."
Well, you look positively disheveled. What's happened to you?
The elf that was speaking to him steps forward and says, You are relatives." Hmm. He turns to Simeon and says, we cannot let them go. They can't know that we were here." Simeon turns to him and says, turns back to you and says to you, Hanera, it's a long story. The war, it's all on a false pretense. The Rodrans are not who the elves, who the Sidans say we are.
Right.
I wish I could stay and explain, but we took some losses. We are being tracked through the woods. We have to leave.
By who?
Sorry, this is an Elven, isn't it?
Yeah. Cyan speaks Elven.
Of course he does.
Simeon turns to you and says, Cyan, he says, there is a squad of Sidan deserters in these woods. We've been sent to track them down. They've taken something very important from our leader.
Which
I don't know
would you
what to
like
say.
some help finding that thing? We could perhaps if we help you, you could help us find something out.
The guy next to Simeon says, "We can't trust them. We can't trust them. We have to take them with us to Sethel." And Simeon says, "No, we can't bring them into this. Not my sister." Simeon turns to you, Cyan, and says, "We did find them, but they got to us first. They ambushed us. They knew that we had been following. We took half our group has taken losses. We are in no state to fight or track them down again."
Let's see.
Deox, the elf next to Simeon, he introduces himself. He says, and he speaks in common to the rest of you. He says, "I am Deoc. I am sorry to do this, but we have to take you hostage."
This is outrageous.
Okay.
Why do such a thing?
We cannot let you. Simeon turns to him and says, "We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't involve them." But Deox says, "It only the Kayadar knows what we must do. We have to retreat, and we cannot let you go, lest you fall into the Sidans, the deserters' grip, or if you tell the humans. We cannot take it."
They've got a good point there. If we go quietly, can we at least keep our hands unbound?
I see what you're doing.
Deox says, turns to you, Yarrow, and says, "You are halfling."
Yeah.
I am so sorry for what is about to happen to you.
I don't like the sound of that.
Simeon turns to you and says, "The deserters, when we found them, they were camping not that far from your small town. We feel that they are planning on raiding it tonight."
Well, then we need to stop
Why did
them.
they raid the Hassans?
For food, I presume.
Have they taken sheep before?
They have been taking people and livestock for the last day or two. We had been tracking them, but they must have gotten on top of us. Their leader, the item he carries is too powerful for us as it is.
I'm gonna have to go back there and defend them.
Deoc turns to you and says, "I fear that your family are. I fear that there's not much chance for them."
Well,
We
that's
must-
too bloody bad. I'm not gonna sit here and just let them get attacked. I'm gonna go back there and stop it.
"I cannot let you leave." And Simeon turns to Deoc and says, If they get themselves killed defending their town, then there's not going to be any talking, is there, Deoc?" And Deoc turns to him and says, I can't believe you're thinking about this.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What am I going to talk about? I don't know what you guys are doing, but I don't actually care.
I don't think that's the point, Yarrow. From what
I don't
I'm
understand
gathering
what's going on
about,
here. What's the point?
what I'm gathering from Deok's point is he's worried that if the Sidon capture us, that you'll rat out where they are.
I don't know anything what's going on, so it'd be pretty easy for me to go, hey, I just don't know what's going on. I'm a halfling, look at me.
Well, you're not very well hidden, are you? Seeing as we managed to find you without any trouble.
Yes, we did find you very easily. In fact.
I do not know why you came here specifically, Simeon says. This is...
That's our business and our business alone.
It weren't exactly that hard to find you, though, if you get my drift.
We found you. We could have
Okay.
killed you and left you
But
here.
why didn't you stay hiding then, if you didn't want to be found?
The item that the Sidon leader carries is more important than you could possibly imagine. If it gets into the wrong hands, it could cause a big issue. Let's just say that.
I don't
What
give a
item
rat's
is it?
ass about some item. I'm going to go and save my family.
Simeon seems to be sort of drawn to just letting you guys go, but Deok, he seems to be very much unlikely to budge his position.
Can I try make an impression or something, or like
Yeah.
I guess it could be maybe like a diplomacy check to try and sway him.
Yeah, that's fine. Make a diplomacy check for me. What are you gonna say? Actually, roll it and then tailor what you're gonna say based on.
Fine. And let me just double check my pursuit was on. I think it was on the brooch, so it would. No, I guess it wouldn't because it's slightly separate. I'm not going to add the modifier on it for that.
Okay, fine.
That's a 24.
Okay. What are you saying?
Diok, you see, our little friend here, Yarrow, she very much loves her family, and see, without the halflings around, you could compromise a lot of the things around here. And I do think it would be very wise, perhaps if maybe we go and help them, and then you could perhaps mobilize the population there. If they are told that there is a threat to them as a group, then they may be more receptive to your ideas about the side down. And besides, I mean, having 1/6 of us running around like a mad woman would not necessarily be the wisest of paths if you want her cooperation.
Deok says, this is most unusual. But I understand the importance of family. He says, he turns to Simeon and says, some of us need to go back to Sethel and raise the alarm. If you can try and get back to the city, get back to the halfling village and protect it, we will try and get back as soon as possible.
Just one more thing. How would we reach this Sethel character? It would be very useful once we've defended the town to be able to know where to go next. I appreciate the woods are a dangerous place, but any indication you have would be most welcome.
Sethel is our city, Simeon says. Deok sort of turns to him and says, why are you giving that up? That information up. But Simeon says, it is a place that is hidden. Only Rodrans can enter it, or at least only Rodrans have ever entered it.
I see. So it is like a magical protection that only Rodrans can gleam through.
Or only Rodrans are allowed in.
It's not necessarily that, Simeon says. He says, there are. And he sort of points to the sort of ruined area you're in. There's a sort of like ruined archway that has like moss all around it. He says, he points to that and says, we travel through these to get around. They are gates of sorts. Now, I think that non-Rodrans can go through them if invited, but only a Rodran's blood can open the gate.
Intriguing. Well, thank you for that information. We will guard it very closely.
Deox says, right. He turns to a couple of his a couple of soldiers and he says, you come with me. We'll raise the alarm with the Kayada. If we're going to meet them, we will meet them at the Halfling village. The rest of you stay with the group. Keep them safe. And Simeon turns to him and says, "Be quick. We do not know how long we have." And you watch as a few of the elves sort of climb down from the trees. And Deoc takes out a sort of little ceremonial dagger and cuts himself across the palm of his hand and puts it onto the archway that has the moss around it. And you watch as all the moss begins to constrict, almost like it's like the blood is being sucked into it. It begins to sort of go a bit darker before this sort of like black, oily sort of void begins to sort of apparate in the archway. It seems to look like oil, like an oil slick, as you watch as the like 3 or 4 elves just walk through it and vanish into it before it closes behind them. Simeon turns to the rest of you and says, we did make an oath to protect the innocent. I guess this is where it is then. He turns to you.
Make a mental note of the archway, like its location, where it is, and things.
They're quite easy to recall because I know we walked to this place and it was
well, Yarrow managed to guide you here, and Yarrow's been here a couple of times. Like, it's not that far away from Eilishire. You'll be able to make your way back.
Okay.
The rest of the elves look quite not particularly battle ready. It looks like they've been trekking through the woods for a little while. They look quite hungry. They look generally just quite sort of skinny, and their hair is all matted. It's got pieces of like mud in it. You watch as a couple of elves sort of begin to just whisper amongst themselves, and for those who can hear Elven, you hear them sort of saying quite derogatory things about you guys, saying things like, "Why should we have to protect them? They've done nothing to protect us." But Simeon turns to them and says, "Be quiet. I am your captain. I am your commander. You will do what I say."
So is Simeon coming with us?
Yeah, Simeon noticing that you're involved in the danger seems to be quite like he wants to at least be around to just in case something happens. He says, "If you would guide us back to your town." It is getting dark now. I hope that they haven't attacked.
Yeah.
But so around you all, sort of going like looking around at the stuff that's been left behind. There's like a number of like ruined bits of like weaponry and armor, and there's a few shields like sort of tucked underneath the moss and stuff around here. So so this is the total amount of stuff that is around here, if as you guys are sort of having a look around. If you guys want to just like assign that amongst yourselves.
Oh, shit.
Should I? Should Ugo just carry this for now?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Sure.
Do you want to put it in your
Okay.
stash and we'll sort it out later?
As resourceful as ever, Ugo.
Like you say, I am resource.
Yes. Yes, you are.
Okay.
As you begin to sort of pack up, Simeon seems quite interested in getting you all moving back. As you sort of finish the sort of like packing up process and begin to turn back, and then begin to sort of like make your way onwards, he turns to you, Hanera, and says, "I am so sorry, sister, for not contacting you. I know that Mother would have been afraid of my safety."
Yes, she was afraid of your safety. You know, she asked me to bring you home. She said to me that when I set off on my adventures, if I find you, I need to bring you home.
I'm not sure that it will be possible. I've done many things that have exiled me from Akate, and our old way of life.
Well, yes, I can see that.
I did not choose to break my oaths and leave the Garenia without a lot of thought. It was not something that just happened on a whim. The Saidan are brutal. They are actively engaged in genocide against our ancestral people, Hanera. I could not stand and let that happen.
Yes, well, you know Father's dead.
He sort of like stops and just sort of looks a bit sullen.
We had a funeral for you.
Was it nice?
It was horrible. Of course it was horrible.
He smiles a little bit. He says, "I'm so sorry. I mourned the loss of you all as well. I thought every moment about trying to get in contact somehow, but it was just not possible."
Would you like me to tell Mother you said hello?
You cannot tell anyone, Hanira.
Okay, I'll keep it quiet.
It's not just for me. It's for our family. It's for the Trisfairs. We're on thin ice as it is with the blood that we have. If they know that I defected, then I'm sure that we wouldn't last very long.
I'm sure. Well, it's lovely to see you.
I wish that it was under better circumstances. But once this war is done and we have won it, maybe we can try and remain in contact.
Yes, that'd be nice.
All right, so you all continue onwards, back towards the town of Islashire. You trekking through the woods, going back across the river. This time, the elves managed to dispatch a couple of the crocodiles on the way back, and begin to sort of like take out some important bits of pelt. And you watch as they take out these sort of like long ceremonial daggers that are made of this sort of quite strange material. It's almost like a rainbowy type metal. That seems to cut really efficiently, and they cut in just a matter of seconds. They manage to sort of entirely skin the whole back ridges of the crocodile, and take like really good cuts of meat from it and put it in their bags, just almost as they're crossing the river. Like, it's very efficient. They say, Simeon says, "When in Sethel, we do not eat meat, but when we're out in the field, anything we can get is important. Even crocodile."
I mean, crocodile's quite tasty, from my experience.
You have eaten it?
Well, I've been around places. I've eaten what I had to. Crocodile's quite nice. It's like chicken, but fish.
It sounds disgusting.
You should try some. It's lovely.
I have both eaten and been slightly eaten by crocodile. I much prefer the eating the crocodile.
Yeah, being eaten wasn't very pleasant.
Don't remember it that well.
Wasn't
That's
particularly
because you kept going unconscious.
One of the elves sort of walks alongside you for a bit, Ugo. He says something in Elvish, which sounds like he's just like spitting at you. And Simeon turns around and says, "Keep that quiet." You hear those who speak Elvish hear him say like, "He's the ugliest man I've ever seen."
Retorted Elvish, far prettier than you.
that elf. These elves are pretty like grumpy. Like you hear a couple of them at the back saying like, "Oh, we were almost home and now we have to go back to surely be killed. We've lost people for this." Simeon says, as he's walking, he says to the rest of you, we had a group of 30 when we left. The rest, all that have survived is us here. And those who went back to Sethel.
How many of them roughly are there now?
It's hard to tell. In the woods, an ambush like we had, one men can seem like 10. But it was Aelus, their leader. He struck down at least 5 or 6 of us before he retreated himself.
You don't happen to have retreated too far, I hope. And can Cascus use Discreet Inquiry, which is a skill feat he's just learned here, which means that when I use Gather Information, which I'm going to do, I can hide the true subject of my inquiry among other topics of little interest to you without increasing the difficulty of the check or taking more time to gather info.
So isn't Gather Information a...
It's
Isn't that a like downtime action?
I think it's an action you can ask an individual.
Oh, it's in the it's in the exploration. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, all right, make a check then. What check do you need to make? It determines the DC of the check and the amount of time. Gather information.
Your choice.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, make me a diplomacy check then. What were you asking again?
So basically, his objective here is to understand if his true objective is to understand if the Rodrans or the Sidans have been crossing the borders into, going into potentially places like Port Edron or Elvaris, or like, do you know what I mean, close to, which is the goal of what we're here to do,
Sure,
and also kind of masquerading it around various niceties around just their effort and their struggle in general.
Yeah, he says.
Hold on, let me just do a roll.
Oh yeah, do a roll.
Sorry, hold on, I need to get the right tab up. Diplomacy. Circumstance bonus will be on because the brooch and it's kind of the mission. I think that's what my PCA leads on.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
18.
Hey,
26.
Good
It's a big roll.
He says. We have never come to Port Edron. We only came into the Camnor Woods for the deserters. I assume the humans sent you here to look for our ruins for a reason, then?
Oh, we were not after your ruins of any reason. We were just simply investigating reports of border crossings. And, we have a number of different suspects on our list, and one of them is your folk. Do not take this as an affirmation of suspicion. We are just covering our bases. I hope you understand.
I understand completely. I fear that the people you're looking for are not us. We have made a policy to not involve the humans in any of our affairs. We have never asked anyone but ourselves for help. This is a struggle that we feel is an elven struggle, to put it like that. We do not want the humans getting involved at all. So to go to Port Edron would be to elicit attention that we did not necessarily need or want.
Or maybe
Yeah.
if you get help, then is no longer Elven problem. Maybe it remain Elven problem as long as you do not get help.
We fear it's more likely that the humans will side with the High Elves, I'm afraid.
They do have a history of doing that.
We have... Our struggles are of no consequence. We do not trade with the humans. We do not give them resources. We have no ships or ports. We live in the forests. The humans have no interest in our survival at all.
It's not to be
So-
some among your number that perhaps have a grudge or an anvil to grind. It is certainly a large part of the world that you cannot come to, and a natural refuge for your folk. And not to mention, you haven't exactly pinned the blame on anyone else yet.
You are referring to the execution of the Padron.
News travels quickly.
Of the Padron 5 years ago.
Oh, I know. I do not refer to him. There has been a killing in Port Edron, a very high-profile one, of a man of high regard among the folk there.
I see. And what is the nature of this killing?
Well, see, that's the thing. I will not reveal the name or the rank of the individual. I hope you understand just right now. But the nature of his death was unclear. Some say it was a shadowy figure in the night, and the use of a poison that meant that the person could not be revived.
He stops and he sort of turns and looks at you and says, "What? Divine magic did not work on him.
That's correct.
That does not. That sounds like a Shadesteel weapon.
Shadesteel.
Shadesteel.
Can you tell us more about that?
Shadesteel. Well, it is an ancient metal. It's also known in our tongue as Mithindra. It's a near extinct alloy, something created from steel and silver, which was made in the Age of Gods, which has long since been forgotten how to make. It was given to the immortal elves, those who were on this planet at the same time as the gods before the fall. And after the Titan Wars, the knowledge of the creation of Shadesteel has since vanished. There aren't that many Shadesteel weapons left, only 150 or so, and most of them are in the ownership of great houses.
Great houses, you mean of Sidon or human?
Of Sidon great houses. Shadesteel weapons can only be used by those with elven blood.
Can I describe the woman I saw? I can't remember. Did I see like any special insignias she had or anything?
She was definitely human. What, you mean the woman in the when you were like spying on
Yeah.
on Don Marine? There was, I mean, the only thing that you can really link to her was that Ouroboros sort of symbol.
But that's with the bankers.
Yeah. So she was in a building that was owned by the banking guild. But there was not necessarily anything that would connect her to Shadesteel weapons necessarily.
Oh no, of course not. I'm just more pursuing my suspicion of her involvement.
I see. Simeon says this is actually part of the nature of our struggle here. There is a Sidon deserter named Ilas. He stole a Shadesteel weapon from us before he killed his leader in the Garenia and escaped into the Camnor woods. We've been tracking them until they got on top of us. It is that blade which struck down 6 of my fellows.
So, hold on a second. The Padron was unable to be revived as well. And you're saying that sounds like a quality of Shadesteel.
That
Is
is a
it
quality of
possible? Is it possible that Padron was assassinated by Sidon?
We have never we the Rodrans have never claimed to have killed the Padron. It was placed on us. After the Padron died, after the Padron and his brothers, well, after the Padron's brother also died along with him, his son, Prince Holthisius, became the leader of the Grenia, and blamed the Rodrans for their deaths. There was never any evidence for it. We have only ever had one Shadesteel weapon, and that has now been stolen from us.
So a potential assassination for power gains?
It does not seem that... Well, we do not know the true reason. The Sidon have refused to negotiate with us. They've refused to stop any of their attacks. They continue to burn down the forests at will. There are not many of us, and we can only fight back in small numbers using the gates that we have control of.
Can I just do is it sense motive? That's like an insight check, right?
Yeah.
Can I do one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's what's it? Oh, I can just do it manually, but I think it's a deception. Oh no, wait, sorry. The GM attempts a secret perception check for you. It compares the result of the deception DC of the creature. So hold on. Do I need to do a perception check?
Yeah, it'll be a perception check. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yep, I know that one. 18.
He seems to be pretty honest. Like, this is a guy who left his family and joined a sort of almost like guerrilla, like revolutionary sort of society to fight back against something that he feels very strongly about. So he's being perfectly like honest when he says this. That there's nothing that you can tell that he believes in any way that the Rodrans are responsible for the death of the Padron or the death of the Sea Lord.
It's all very well and good, but you see, we do need to have some answers. So unless you can find this Sidon thief and bring him to justice or to us, and so we can get authorities, you do see this looks poorly upon you.
Which is why we have not tried to get the humans involved. To swing them one way or another lends legitimacy to the ultimate lie that began the conflict. Only through the complete defeat of the Sidon in the battlefield can we regain our honor and rewrite history.
I hope you understand that your war goal is fundamentally tricky. I do not mean to doubt your passion and your drive for this business. It is a dirty and disgusting one. But you must see that the humans, our motive is money. It is not some kind of form of justice. If it is annoying for the humans, we will take the truth that fits us best.
Well, you humans have shorter memories than us elves. History is, I suppose, more important to those who live for a long, long time.
All I'm saying is that it would be wise for you and your elders to find this interloper. Otherwise, we might have to go back and deliver news that will put more pressure on your people. If if you catch my understanding.
He sort of he looks forward and just carries on walking. Like he sort of huffs huffs to himself as he continues on. Eventually, the tree line breaks, and you arrive on the outskirts of Eilishire. Seems to be a normal night. You hear a bit of music coming from the inn in the distance. You see the sort of glow of candlelight all around you, and sort of lanterns having been lit in the streets to give it a bit of a nice glow. A few, children are still playing outside. The elves that are following you, like as you come out of the woods, a number of children sort of begin to sort of stare as all the elves come out and come back with you. You probably have what, 5 or 6 elves with you, so there's a group of 12 of you now. You hear the children whispering to themselves, "It's elves, elves." Simeon says, "This is most unusual. I feel like the attack should have started by now."
Unless it's a trap.
Where is your leader? He turns to you, Yarrow.
My leader? Do you mean my dad?
Dad? Sure.
Wait, is this the mayor we are talking about? I'm expecting to have a meeting with him to protect my investment.
As you say that, the Jolly Frog Inn that's nearby, the door opens up, and your mother, Yarrow, comes out. She seems quite fretted. She seems like she's fretting a lot. She sort of seems like her face is quite white, and her hair sort of it clashes with her ginger hair even more. She runs up to you, Yarrow, and says, "Oh my God, you're safe."
What's happened?
We didn't think that you would. We thought you would come back sooner. The boys stupidly decided to go and follow you. They thought that you had gone missing.
I haven't even been gone for that long. Why would you be fretting about me like that?
It's the boys. They're idiots. They see themselves as adventurers. And she turns to the rest of you and says, they wanted to idolize the group you were with."
That's because they're bloody idiots. That's why.
Hey!
Hey! We're not.
They're children.
Talking about the boys, not you guys.
Um,
I mean, you can be bloody idiots if you want to be as well, but
I know I offended you or got at that as well.
Yara's literally just laughing to herself now.
Yara, your mother turns to you and says, "The boys, they still haven't returned."
It's just
We didn't-
proves the point, doesn't it?
We didn't see them on the way back either.
So either they are lost or very sneaky.
Or eyeless.
I mean, they are little boys. I'm sure they'll be back soon. We should probably go see the mayor. This whole village is at stake, no?
Skis. No.
We're gone
Yes,
for
that's the
that
only
long.
reason you want to see the mayors, so you can get your investment.
This is very presumptuous and a very big accusation. I am simply looking out for this group of halflings. It is clear that they are in some kind of danger. We need to go. They're just boys. They will be back soon. We were all like that at one point.
Simeon turns to you and says, "There are dangerous things in the woods, Caskius."
I
Right.
think we should go looking for them.
Yes, quite
I
dangerous. And just
should-
pull to the side and show like a puncture wound or something from the crocodile.
Yeah,
I'm
as you
gonna
can
fucking
see.
kill them.
Oh, Ugo, you should probably get that looked at soon.
It's
But
okay.
yes,
I am mother.
Hugo's had worse, actually.
But I very much...
While.
Ugo, please. You are not helping my point here. I do think we should alert the authorities here and help them prepare.
authorities.
Your father, Yarrow, your mother says, he's speaking to the mayor at the moment. They're setting up a search party, as it is. I think they
Well,
would
then-
be happy to have volunteers.
Well, then it sounds like the mayor is occupied and we should start looking.
I don't think this is a wise move. I worry very much we will leave here and it will come back a fiery mess. I'm sorry, Yarrow.
Simeon says, "What's the decision? But we are still." I don't like. He whispers. He doesn't want to obviously worry Gerda. But he says, "But there are people who mean this town not very well in the woods. If we leave, it might get attacked."
The two boys, they may have already been captured. If we wait for the attack, then maybe we could find out where they are.
Or we leave. The elves, they're not ready to fight yet. I say we should leave the detachment here to look out, and we should carry a search. Maybe whilst they keep a lookout, they can rest and prepare for the attack.
So Simeon says, "Respectfully, we are some of the best truckers in the world. If you send us out into the woods, we may be able to find them faster." And Gerda says, "Wait, attack? What are you talking about?"
So any deserters are on their way.
Well, no. Let's not start a panic. Yes.
They
Don't worry.
deserve to know there's going to be an attack.
I
They
believe
do,
it was
they do.
I believe it was called
Keep an eye on
raid.
things.
All right, guys, go one at a time. Sorry, Yarrow, what were you gonna say?
Sorry.
Don't worry, man. We're here. I'm sure it's going to be totally fine. Don't worry your head off, okay?
I think maybe should worry a little bit, not nobody.
She's a freaking barkeep. She's not going to be able to help any.
I have seen many a barkeep be very strong. You do not normally mess with barkeep. Does not go
I
well.
don't know halflings.
Is I beg your pardon. What's her name? Looking panicked.
Gerda.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not very happy right now. Like, she's more worried sick than anything else. Like, her two sons have just gone missing, and now she has overheard there's some sort of attack on the village about to happen.
Can I do no cause for alarm as an action? You attempt to reduce panic. Diplomacy check around you. For each of them is temporarily immune to being like scared, basically for an hour.
Sure.
And just to lower the mood, so we're not all going to do something silly.
Yeah. Okay. Give it a
Everybody
try.
panic!
Hold on.
What check do you have to do?
It's diplomacy against. Oh shit! I just had it on my thing. Sorry, I just lost it. I'll just quickly do the diplomacy roll on it.
I love all these random investigator things. It's so funny.
Yeah, they're cool. They're
It's
really
just
cool.
like, huh.
Oh, that was a terrible roll.
Okay. This is likely to make it worse then.
There's no option for failure. So basically, Cascus will just say something slightly obtuse and not very helpful, get us silenced, and then kind of the conversation will just carry on as if he didn't say anything.
Yeah, it's just Gerda is like turns to you and says, "Did you think that was going to help?" She says, "I'll get your father, Yarrow. Stay here." And she runs off towards the town centre.
Scion is shooting daggers at Cascus.
What's the light level at the moment? Like, what kind of time is it?
It's coming into about evening, so it's getting to about maybe 8 or 9 p.m. It's still, I think it's the light here is it gets light until about 9:30, and then it'll get dark about then. So it's sort of like twilight at the moment.
Yarrow. Can small people see in dark?
You might be on mute, Phaedra.
Yeah.
So actually just look it up a sec. I don't know what halfling's
Alright.
vision's like.
I don't think they can.
If
It's on your senses on the first page of your character sheet, if you can.
You.
small people cannot see in dark and elves can, make sense if elves will attack when night comes.
Simeon
That's
says,
fine.
these elves know nothing of halflings. This is their first time out of, well, into the human territories. They've spent most of the time on the front lines against us. I'm not sure what they know and what they do not. They might think these are what humans look like, honestly.
Okay.
Just like, a
Well-
village of all children.
Perhaps we should have the elves go have a look, whereas the rest of us prepared defenses.
I do not think I agree, but we do not even send all the elves if they are two children. I mean, what's the worst that could be out there? I'm sure the elves can. Do you think you all need to go and sort this out, or can it just be a couple of you? Or maybe one?
I mean, you saw how well we fared against that one crocodile.
I was asking Simeon the question.
Sorry, so can you say that again?
Yeah, so, like, how many hunters do they realistically need to send to save these two boys?
Simeon says, one will do it, potentially, but two is safer.
And there's 6 in total, is that right?
Including Simeon, there's 6, yeah.
Okay.
So it's Simeon and 5 others, so it'd be Simeon and 3 others if...
Yeah.
If two go off.
Yeah, I think we should send 2 off. I'm feeling particularly kind. And the rest stay here to prepare defenses.
Hopefully hopefully they can come back quickly. After a couple of moments, you see a whole number of halflings begin to march up towards the Jolly Frog. As a couple of elves, Simeon talks to them in Elvish and tells them to go, and then they sort of like sneak off. And these are the 2 least likely to defect, it seems, elves that Simeon can find. Like the ones who aren't really necessarily bad mouthing, they've just mostly been quiet. Those 2 elves go off as you see about maybe a group of 20 or 30 halflings come over the hill to the Jolly Frog. And you see Jonold, Yarrow's father, as well as old Jerris, who was the guy in the wheelchair, in the rocking chair when you first arrived. He's sort of like hobbling next to the mayor, who is like a sort of small, stout halfling, wearing quite comfortable like cloth shirt and a belt and sort of like knee-length shorts and big boots. He's got his sort of sleeves rolled up and his forearms are quite burly. It looks like he's got a bit of like, almost dwarf blood in him or something, but it's just because it's just his particular nature. He walks up to you with his large, sort of twirled mustache and says, "There's a bit of trouble there, is there? I'm Marimus Twink. Nice to meet you all."
Hello. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
It is a very big honor to meet you. I've heard many very good things about you.
Aye? And what's that?
Oh, that you are incredibly industrious and pious and wise, and you have an eye for a good opportunity when they come.
Make a deception check.
Is this not like a make an impression as well?
It would be. You could do make an. Yeah, you can do make an impression. Do diplomacy. You're trying to be diplomatic, even though it's a lie.
It's literally just like spamming it at this point.
I mean, most diplomacy is just a lie. To be fair.
Is flattery a lie? If you
It's
kind of don't
literally.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my job.
Yeah. He says, "Oh, well, it's nice to meet you too." And that is.
My name is Kaskis Pofrif. I am managing director of Kaskis Pofrif General Services and Inquiries, and this is my good employee Ugo, and these are my companions.
And very well. Sort of after making your introductions, he says, "So, give it to me. What's the issue here?"
So there are Sidan deserters on their way. We need to know how well defendable your town is here, and if there's any way we can potentially protect your citizens. If you have like an armory or a place to build barricades.
An armory. We have some hunting bows and a short little things. We have a few crossbows, I think, somewhere. A few. I think the Pimpkins. They've got a shotgun.
A shot?
Shotgun. What's a shotgun?
It's one of those. It's one of those rifle things that you put little pellets in, and other people call it a blunderbuss.
I can't see anything on this Halfling Village page.
No, me neither.
Says
Oh,
you don't
hang on.
own a token with
blind.
vision.
Oh, yeah.
I've gone blind.
Let me just sort it out. Hang on. Bonk.
Oh, there we
Hang
go.
on.
It's better. I can see.
This is the village.
Oh, lovely. It's huge. It's quite big.
It's thick.
So this is the Jolly Frog up here, I guess.
What did you say his name was?
Merrimus Twink.
Exciting.
Yeah, reference.
I'm sorry. I can't take this guy serious.
It's a reference to Joanne's first character that they played. That she played in my first campaign. Her name was Jeline Twink. And she was a halfling as well. So.
Campaign 0.1.
Yes. Who have I missed? That's everyone.
6 of us.
Just imagine there's a bunch of other people around. But this is the village. The mayor says, "Well, I guess we can see what we can get together. Jonald, lead a group to just see what you can find in the stores. We need pitchforks, torches, any weapons we can have, grappling hooks."
Maybe
yeah.
it's best if you all hide, and then when they come, you'll jump out and go, "Ah!"
Oh, don't worry. That's what we were planning to do. We were going to barricade ourselves in, and then, you know.
And us deal with it.
Well, if they tried to, take our stuff, then we would fight them back.
Where's our barge relative to this, by the way?
What's the what? Sorry.
The barge.
It's a bit north.
Okay.
This is like this section of the village. The village does go on a little bit further.
Okay.
Like this is just the sort of the end of the village. So this is sort of like a little stream that connects to the main river. That the barge is on. So he says, right. Well, how many men we got here? We got 40 reasonable fighters, and then we've got about 25 people that we probably don't want to have on the front lines. And like a few of them are like murmuring amongst themselves, like, "Wait, we're gonna fight?" Marimus says, "We managed to fight off the Great Direwolf War. You remember that? Everyone?" And they go, "Well, if we can survive that, we can survive a couple of pansy elves." No offense, Simeon, and the rest of you.
Cyan's gonna whisper into Hanera's ear in Elven, "They're all going to die."
I nod.
You don't happen to have any anti-magic defenses? I might be very much asking for a lot here.
Anti-magic defenses? Oh no, we don't really often mess with that sort of thing.
We're not used to being attacked, you see.
I can see that. Your welcoming committee was very fierce. He looks to what's his name? Old man.
Oh yeah, old Jarrus.
Oh, Jarrus. who I'm hoping is
Oh,
actually looking at his eyes now.
He's got like that spear he had on his lap before when he first came in. He's sort of like using it as a walking stick. And he's sort of like half like leant over it, and he's got that wolf pelt like wrapped around his neck as a cape.
Is he like the most intimidating looking halfling here?
He's got like no teeth, so you know, like when you have no teeth, your whole like lower jaw sort of curls up.
Oh.
And he's sort of like his cheeks, sort of his jowls, sort of like curl over his upturned chin, and he sort of is just like staring at all of you. You know, he seems quite hostile, to be honest, but he can't talk, so you don't quite know what his intentions are. Merrimus says, "Old man Jarrus here. He was the he was one of the only people who managed to kill one of them direwolves back in the direwolf war. I've got it. I've got the.
Direwolf war.
Well, we call it a war. There was just a pack of direwolves that passed through and stole a few of our sheep. Old man Jarrus went out and killed one and brought his head back. But it's the most fighting we've had in quite a while.
Just in the party, what weapons do people use?
I have a rapier.
Me too.
Would
Hands.
Gary's got a scythe.
I've got a sling.
uh,
But that shotgun does sound quite nice.
would Cascus and Vinail each like a +1 short sword?
Probably not, because it doesn't have the same like finesse stuff. Then it just completely not work.
It is finesse.
Yeah, it's nice.
Sorry, and deadly. Let me check. Hold on, sorry.
Oh, it's definitely got deadly.
Okay, let me-
Common,
maybe then.
common, agile, evocation, finesse, magical.
Evocation is because it's a +1. It's
Cascus will
Versatile
take
S.
one and figure out.
Okay.
Oh, is there only one?
There's two, I think.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Oh. I'll take one as well. Fuck it.
Okay.
How do I?
So you have to drag in a normal short sword and then go in and add on.
Okay.
So in the weapon summary, on the right, you go down to potency rune and then go to weapon potency +1.
Yeah.
Who
Unless
had
you
the-
can actually just type in like +1 and it'll come up. But that's not
Who
allowed.
had the blunderbuss?
That was the Pimpkins. Their farm is a bit further up, but a couple of the like a group of people have gone off to see what weapons they can get and round up.
Okay. I may try and get hold of one.
Steal it.
That's fine.
What's a scroll staff?
A scroll staff. If you look on Archives and Ethos, it'll tell you. But basically, it's a staff that you can like imbue a spell into.
Oh, cool.
I think once a day or something. Let me just double check.
Microsoft Edge is stopped responding.
Yeah, so you inscribe a single scroll onto the staff's head at the same cost for crafting the scroll. So you can sort of, instead of making a scroll, you can just like put it on the staff instead, and then you can, as long as you're using the staff, you can use it at whatever point you want. But it works as just a normal staff, so you or Yarrow would either like be fine with it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Marimus turns to Yarrow and says, You're gonna stay and help us fight, are you?"
Of course I am. What else do you think I'm gonna do?
Well, I don't know. I know that you've got some useful magic. That's all. I just wanted to make sure that if anyone needs any help, because I would understand if you wanted to stay behind and heal and anyone who got injured.
Nah, I'd rather be out there fighting, and if anyone's injured in the field, I'll go heal them.
Ignore that.
All right. Well, be safe.
That reminds me, I'm missing 4 hit points. Can I do a medicine check on myself?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. I
How,
think so.
how
Hang
do
on.
like short rest, well, the short rest equivalent work?
So treat wounds. Treat wounds is what you're looking for.
Okay.
Yes.
It takes 10 minutes per treat wounds, and then once you've done your treat wounds, you can't do it on the same person for another hour. But you can. But it takes 10 minutes. Well, for another 50 minutes. So it's from the start of the check.
Yeah, I don't have healer's tools. I just have healing blaster.
Yeah. So that's one of the things you need for it. And then yeah, you have to pass a check. But if you fail, obviously you might actually do more damage. But that's effectively what a short rest is. Someone who's got the ability to use treat wounds will basically go around healing people.
Okay.
All right, should we take a break?
Sure.
Sure.
Good dog,
So-
keepers.
Come back at 1:30 then, shall we?
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just
And
working
then
treat wounds.
cool, yeah, and then we can just sort of like yeah, if you want to prepare anything or sort yourself out, you can do that. All right.
All right.
Back in a bit then.
See you in a bit. Russian slash potentially other place spammers slash not spammers slash lurkers slash whatever.
All right. Thanks for hyping us up. All right. So just before the break, the party returned back to Eilishire after discovering from Simeon, Hanira's brother, as part of the elf sort of Rodran scout group that he was part of, that a bunch of deserters from the Garenia, the Sidon Royal Guard, have deserted and stolen a Shadesteel sword from the Rodrans, and has made their way into the Camnor Woods, camped somewhere near Eilishire. They have on good authority that they are planning an imminent raid on the town, on the village. So, the mayor and everyone eventually like collects a big pile of sort of tools and farming equipment, and you watch as they all start looking through them, and you see that they're all quite disheartened. The halflings aren't necessarily people who are massively industrious in the world of fighting. They having a look at it all. You see one of the pimpkins, his name being Barnaby. Just one of the younger ones, procures a large blunderbuss with a few rounds of shot. He says, "I don't really. I mean, we only use this if we really have to, but
Pass it here. I'm more than equipped to use this.
Okay." He hands it over. So it's if you put in a blunderbuss into your character sheet, there are rules for it.
Okay. Just the rules that are on the thing.
Yeah, so you should be able to find it in the compendium.
There it is. Okay, I've added it.
And then it comes with 10 rounds
10 rounds.
with powder and a powder for it as well.
Okay. Is there something called? Is there an ammo? A specific ammo in the compendium that I can use to keep track of that? Or?
It's just rounds brackets blunderbuss.
Rounds. Okay. Rounds bracket blunderbuss. Okay. Cool.
Got it?
Yeah, and 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okie
dokie. After maybe about an hour of this, you see a couple of the elves return from the woods. No halflings in tow, but they are carrying 2 wooden swords. The elves come over and speak to Simeon, and Simeon takes them and turns to you, Yarrow, and says, "Are these your brother's swords?" You recognize them as the ones that they were sort of like dueling with before. They were found in the woods a few miles north of here. Seems that the boys have gone. He speaks to one of the elves, and the elf sort of talks to him forward and back for a bit. And then he goes, "It looked like they'd been taken."
Dear. Oh, fuck.
Your mother just suddenly starts just like bawling. What would they want with them?
Yari's just gonna comfort her mother for the moment. She looks a bit speechless as well.
The mayor, Merimus, he sort of looks a bit sullen as well and says, "What are we to do? We just need to wait, right?"
I'd say we take one of the deserters alive. You might have information as to where they might have been taken.
Why would they take two young halflings though? I don't understand what could they gain from that?
Maybe to draw us out?
How do they even know that you're with me or any of this? Surely they just know that they're from this village. Are they wanting to draw the whole village out? That doesn't really even make sense.
Well, if they're all here, then they're in fortified positions. They know the terrain. Sidan don't. They would try to lure you into a position where they are more familiar.
Maybe two boys get lost. Search party gets pulled together in the village. Village is suddenly very empty. Easy target for raid.
Yeah, but we're easy targets anyway. Look at us.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
We're half their size.
They probably don't know much about you, to be perfectly honest. They probably think you're humans. As horrible as that might sound.
But also, just because they can win does not mean they would not want to stack odds in their favor.
Got a point.
If you have a battle and you are 100 men strong and you lose 5 men, you win, but you still lose 5 men.
Has Cascus been teaching you math? You go.
Only those numbers, not many others.
Hugo's intelligence is higher than he gives credit for.
Wisdom, sage wisdom.
That's it.
Hugo's actually a professor. He just acts this way to make Cascus feel stronger.
As they
Mary
say
Miss-
in Sun Tzu,
Merrimus says it is best if we try and keep ourselves together. Perhaps a few number of houses. We'll use this as the most defensible area, I guess. All the people who can't fight stay inside, and then the people outside, the people who are barricading the doors and stuff, keep undercover. Just make sure you're not seen.
What building should they stay in?
These 5 buildings around here. We can fit most of the village in these.
Yarrow, if you would like to stay with your family, I think we would understand. Your mum, and you know, the rest of your extended family that no doubt are hiding in one of the houses. Protect them, of course.
Yara?
I don't know, to be honest. How do we know they're gonna bring my brothers back, though? I don't.
If they don't, we take one of them alive and make him talk.
I mean, are my brothers even gonna be alive? Is it really the best thing to just wait for them and not go looking for them?
I say
It
we
would-
wait.
Simeon says it would be a grave crime to kill innocents. I'm not sure that even Eyeless would stoop so low.
I did read in a book that 95% of child abductions do end in death in the first 24 hours.
Kiss!
Well, that was really helpful, Cascus. Thank you.
That's actually true, by the way.
Brilliant, thank you.
That's not very helpful, you know.
Playing this game to learn!
are most child abductions just like the other parent taking them?
I don't know.
What are you trying to say?
Anyway, sorry.
So the halflings begin to sort of pour themselves into the houses and sort of just nail the windows and doors shut and just like try and put things in the way. There's probably about 30 halflings who have like armed themselves with pitchforks and torches and all this sort of thing. But as you're all preparing, you hear a bunch of halflings sort of like shout in surprise as you see a couple of elves walk out of the woods towards all of you, holding a white flag. They're sort of dressed in very sort of sleek armor, bulkier than you would expect for an elf, but still like with a wide range of movement. They've got like large shoulder pauldrons that have like golden inscriptions all through them, like in sort of elvish writing, as well as like very, very pristine armor. They seem to like, having gone through the woods, they may have like actually just cleaned themselves up for this. One of them is a sort of tall elf with a sort of like almost like a big lion's mane of golden hair, wrapped up in a sort of ponytail which goes all the way down their back. And the other one has like sort of almost dark purple hair, quite short. And they both are carrying swords, but they're both also waving a sort of little white flag, and they sort of go. They begin walking up to you all. The halflings instinctively raise their pitchforks as they approach.
Yeah, Ugo's gripping his maul in two hands this time. Not keeping it stashed away.
Find a building to perch on top of, maybe out of sight, just to keep an eye on the tree line?
Yeah, sure.
Henning would like to sort of duck behind Ugo.
Yeah, and I think Cascus is going to join him.
Can I?
So is this from the left here?
Yeah, it's coming out of this way.
Can I duck behind?
Sure. Yeah, you can move yourself to whatever position you want.
There we go. I am defended on all sides.
Okay. I don't have a good token for this guy, but just they can be these two for now. So they approach. They don't have their swords drawn, and one of them puts out a hand and says, "Greetings," in sort of quite broken common. He says, "I wish to parley."
Go on.
Say your piece then.
We are travelers who have unfortunately come across a little bit of an issue on the road. We require food for our group.
And that's all? Food?
Food and safe passage to Port Edgerton is all we require. We have taken the liberty of taking some insurance so that we are not injured.
Would that insurance, by any chance, take the form of 2 halflings?
Yes. Well, we have 3 actually.
3?
Yeah, it's the guy with the sort of blonde hair is speaking at the moment.
All right.
He says, one of the he sort of looks over your shoulders, and he sees the elves sort of standing ready to fight, and he says, "I see that you have met the issue.
I'm not sure they're the issue.
They didn't kidnap children.
Kidnap me brothers and you're calling them the issue.
I do apologize for any slight to your honor. I am very willing to make it worth your while, if only we are seen safe passage to Port Edgerton."
Why do you need to go to
Bloody asked.
It is something that we could not afford to find. You saying no, I'm afraid. Merrimer steps forward and says, "Wait, all you want is food?" And he says, "Yes, and a cart, and perhaps some form of animal transportation. We will not harm them. They are being very well kept.
Can I, like, what would be, like, can I, like, sense motive, see if he's...
Yeah, go ahead. Hanira,
So
in your
perception check.
yeah, perception check. In your ear, Hanira, Simeon whispers to you. He says, "Be careful for him. That is Eyeless."
Okay.
It's quite hard to tell. He's smiling as he speaks. He has like a way about him, which is confident, charismatic, potentially unhinged. Like his eye like twitches slightly when he sees the elves, the Rodrons behind you. Simeon says, "And where is the blade that you stole?" He says it in Elvish, and you see that Silas says, "Ah, I did think I recognized you. I'm sorry that we had to kill your men before." And Simeon says something along the lines of, "Bastard." He says, I do apologize. Things have been tricky lately, and I am not in the mood for debate. So if you can see us through... But then again, he turns to his friend and says, "I think we may... When we came here," turning to the halflings and sort of the people at the front, "when we came here, we did not expect this village to be in league with our enemies. We did not expect you to be so hostile to us from the start, huh?"
You kidnapped our children and you expected us to not be hostile. Are you fucking thick?
Well, he turns to... He sort of whispers something to the person beside him and says, "I apologize. Let us make this right, You can have your children back. We will only take as much food as we need. And in return, you will... Maybe we will take him." And he points to Simeon.
Taking food that you need, like those those sheep that went missing.
Yes. Yes,
Your
we have to eat.
thieves.
I will give you this one chance. Hand over him and the stuff we require, and your family will not be harmed. Otherwise, well, we have 30 men surrounding this village. We will not leave anyone alive.
Ugo's just gonna turn and look towards Cascus and just like do like a very slight motion with his maul, just like up and down, and like raise an eyebrow.
Cascus tilts his head left and right.
Okay.
As the tension's building, Merrimus steps forward and says, "Yes, that's fine. Yes,
No,
yes. Don't
no,
hurt
it's not fine.
don't hurt us. Don't hurt us. We'll give you whatever you want."
No, we're not handing him
It's with
over.
another person. We don't own him.
He turns to you and says, "This is an elven problem. If we can get out of this without any more injury than what has happened, we'll be perfectly content, I'm sure."
Yeah,
He comes here with the information to tell you that your town is going to be attacked, helping to defend it, and you are going to hand him over like he's done nothing for you. He's on
That
your
is not
side. You
right.
can't just hand him over.
Simeon and the rest of the elves sort of draw their weapons as the halflings are sort of murmuring between themselves. Simeon says, after a while, Simeon says, "If it means that..." Hanira, he turns to you and says, "If it means that no one else gets injured, I will go."
No, don't go. We can fight them.
If I may interject here, please. Cascus kind of smarms from behind Henning, and
No,
Ugo up to
no.
the front, kind of comes up in between. And he kind of does a deep bow. to Ilas. You seem like a rather rational gentleman. Hmm? We all do seem rather rational on this fine evening. You do not need these people. What about a bit of the gold stuff? Hmm? How much would it be?
How much gold do you have?
Ooh, I have some on me, but I certainly can have access to more. But maybe we could come to some kind of arrangement. Hmm? You do not need Simeon. He is an elf. There's plenty more around and about. But this stuff can get you what you really need. Hmm?
He turns to you and says, "I'm sorry. It seems that you think that this is some sort of negotiation."
Well, you started the negotiation off by taking a few assets from the village. And then you negotiated your concerns and demands, and then you shifted the goalposts. It sounds like a negotiation to me, and I've sat in a fair few.
He nods to his friend, and his friend turns around and sort of raises a hand. And you see that the two boys are led out by a third elf. They seem like scared, but they don't seem like they've been harmed. They're sort of standing around here. He says, "As a sign of good faith, you can have your boys back." Hmm? And the elf lets them go. As Ilas sort of just like as they walk past, Ilas holds out his hand and grabs one by the bicep, and says, "They are very beautiful boys. Treat them kindly. It would be a shame to lose them." And then lets them go. And the two boys like run past you. He says, "We'll keep the apothecary for now. We will let him go when we have our materials."
Very good, very good.
Well, that's where the bug was. Ah.
Now I just would like to add one little thing. You see, the humans are getting a bit fidgety up in Port Edron about all this elven business and movement around here. It would be wise to not cause too much problems around here.
And yet it is the only city where deserters from the Gurnia can go.
Perhaps, but there is also a lot of anti-elven sentiment, perhaps, at the moment. I don't know if you heard, but it seems like your people might be being accused of a pretty heinous crime.
My people.
Well, I mean, potentially. Yeah, a big deal when the Sea Lord dies. Just kind of turns slightly on his heel. Anywho, I'm sure we will get you what you need, and you can go off to your city, and I'm sure you'll be fine.
He says. "We'll also take the Rodron."
You're not having Rod Run.
Oh no, that was not part of the deal. You've given the two children on to good faith, and sure we can offer you some gold instead.
I am confused. Usually, when you make trade for food, you pay, not have gold and food.
We're trading with our lives here, Uber.
I thought it was their life, because otherwise,
Please, go, please.
smash.
How much gold do you want?
"We have no use for your gold. We need food."
Well, then you will get food, and that is it. If that is agreeable.
Make a diplomacy check.
Can I also ask Nyx to go around the tree line to spot if there is actually 30 folk
14.
surrounding us?
Nyx sort of like apparates next to you and says, "Oh, I think he might be true. He might not be lying."
Right.
Isla says, it, "This is tricky. I've never dealt with I have never dealt with humans before, or your folk. I have to say I am quite new to this.
Well,
I have done a lot. I have left my home. I have headed to new greener pastures. I have heard how brutal the humans can be. I am not going to take any chances."
yes, perhaps, but we are going well. Your problem will be, you see, is if you establish a bad relationship and a bad head for good business around here early on, then you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure. A good deed here could go a long way to help smooth over your problems later on down the line. Hmm?
Would be a shame as well if in city you were known not just to be thieves of food, but thieves of people. They seem to hang people for not very much there.
You can tell that he sort of doesn't quite know much about Port Edrin. He's just only heard that it's like a sort of refuge, and that they take loads of people in. So he just and the elves obviously have like a lot of ideas about law and honor, and all this stuff. It's clear that he thinks that humans just have none of that. So he thinks he's just like clearly thinks that he's just going to some lawless city. Simeon says, "If that is an error, if this is what it takes to keep my men safe and to keep this city safe, I will go."
No, you're not going. I've already mourned you once. I'm not mourning you again.
Isla says, "It will be a shame if your family has to mourn you both, huh?"
Mira, as horrible as it sounds, these halflings, they don't know how to fight.
We won't be able to take 30 elves.
Especially elves that were part of the military.
I think he's going to have to go with them.
No.
Simeon turns to you and says, I will find you. I will. No matter what happens." You then begin to hear some rustling in the brush around, as you hear a few like arrows begin whistling in the air. You watch as like a few arrows just like clang off this guy's armor, and he turns around and he's like, "What the?" As you hear like sounds from inside the woods, like sounds of fighting happen. He draws his sword and says, "Let's get out of here."
I'm gonna charge in.
All right, let's roll initiative then. Hang on, just bear with me.
Charge in.
Ugo have plenty of health left.
Don't forget we want them alive.
Well, at least one of them alive.
I'll just roll.
The
your
others can
initiative.
die.
There should be a thing that's like rolls initiative at once, but I still haven't seemed to work out how that works.
Initiative. I
Wow,
forgot
I knew
where it
that.
is.
Hey!
It's an initiative, isn't it? Just click that.
I've done it. I've got it.
Oh, cool.
Do I need to do anything? or-
No, you're all there now. So if you have a look at the encounter thing,
Mhm.
so it's Cyan.
Okay. I would like to. So I'm just checking how surprise attack works. You spring on the first round of combat. No, that's only if I roll deception or stealth. Okay. Fuck, I don't have any ranged options. Okay. How far off the ground would I be here?
So you'd actually be kind of on the same level as the rest of these guys, because this house is actually kind of under the ground, right?
Right.
So.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what I just did.
I also still have 3 conditions on my token from the fight before.
Oh, do you? Oh yeah, let me just stop that.
Oh yeah, I still got conditions.
This whole time, Ugo has just been prone.
He's been crawling.
Ugo charge. I'll bite your bloody knees off.
Okay. Can I start off by marking the closest one for death?
That's Eyeless.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna mark Eyeless for death, which is a 3-action activity.
Mm.
It's something that came with the archetype. Basically, mark for death enables me to fucking find it. I designate a single creature as my mark. The mark lasts until the mark dies, or I use mark for death again. I gain a +2 circumstance bonus to perception checks to seek a mark and on deception checks to feint against it. My agile and finesse weapons and unarmed attacks gain the backstabber and deadly d6 weapons rates when you're attacking your mark. If the weapon or unarmed attack already has a deadly trait, increase the size of the deadly damage die by 1 step.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just kind of
All right, that's it.
having Nyx just kind of float around bits of his armor, I guess, to try and say, stab here!
Sure, yeah. All right. All right, in that case, Henning.
Okay, so I'm going to. So just so I understand this, so if I use an action, say just to draw the blunderbuss, but only have it in one hand, and then use another action to throw a potion, do I still get the? Because I know last time when I made 2 attacks, the second one.
You've already drawn the blunderbuss. I assume you have it
Okay.
out and loaded.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I assume you would have just done that the second you got it.
Okay, yeah.
Changing
it'll be
grip is
whole-
a free action as well. Going
Yeah.
from one hand
Okay,
to 2 hands or back.
Okay, so I will put it into. I will. No, you know what? Let's just give it a go. So do I need to load it as an action?
No, so I'll allow it to already be loaded.
Okay, so I'm going to move out to car, and I'm going to attempt to shoot the closest one with the blunderbuss.
That's Eyeless, yeah.
So no ammunition. Oh, fuck me. Gotta try and work out how to assign ammunition. Apparently, how do you do that? Is it this one? Does anybody know?
You have to like equip the ammunition as well.
Oh, did you not move your? Hang
So
on.
it's in consumables. Do I need to put it in held?
Yeah, I think maybe.
Maybe if I put it in held, it'll work. So blunderbuss. No ammunition. So to check the action tabs. So I'm on the action tab. Maybe I have to draw it. Ah, here we go.
Yeah,
You have to draw it. Okay. Yeah, I got it. All right. So, roll. Damn it.
That's a misfire, isn't it? Hang on.
Yeah, that'll be a miss.
Blunderbuss explodes.
Blunderbuss explodes, and you're never gonna find another gun in this.
These fucking halfling weapons, seriously. Oh my god! All right, hang on. I didn't expect the misfires to happen like immediately, so I didn't actually look.
Great.
Didn't look at the rules for them.
You're only supposed to pull the trigger with the force of a halfling's finger.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
What I'll say is it jams up, and you're gonna have to spend an action to clear the jam and then reload it.
Okay. So I'll do that. Spend an action.
Okay, spends an action to clear the jam, and now it's unloaded again.
Okay. So if I now.
Oh, actually, that would be 3 actions because you've moved as well, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so unfortunately, like for some reason, like as you try like fire it, it just you hear a click and the powder just doesn't light. And then as you sort of like are moving it around, you hear it rattling inside, and you're like, "What the hell?" And you just spend a bit of time to do it.
Okay. All right. So that's end of mine then.
Yeah, Ugo, I'll put you before Eyeless because you originally wanted to rush forward.
Okay, so I'm going to rage,
Rage. Okay.
and then I'm going to use sudden charge to dash twice, and sorry, not dash, to stride twice and then attack. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Going sort of round the long way, like round here, to avoid any potential opportunity attacks. Unlikely, but no downside to not. Just getting a bit of a run up on his swing.
Okay.
And then just gonna make an attack with his maul. Oh, where's it gone? There you go. And then it'll be +6 to the damage if it hits. 20 to hit.
That just hits.
Ooh, 22 points of damage.
Damn, nice.
Nice.
And that's to
Insta-dead.
the guy in front. The guy closest to us.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so as you slash into him, it just manages to catch his elven armor, and just sort of chinks off it, and you manage to just whack him, like, and he just sort of holds. Ah! You hear him just like sort of shout to himself. Is that your 3 actions then?
Yep, that's it. Yeah, it's 2 actions for the charge.
Cool. All right, Eyeless. Sort of clutching his side, he's like, ugh! He draws his sword with an action. It's like an elven blade. It's sort of quite sleek. It's got like a lot of different, like again, gold inlays all running down it. It's quite beautiful. But he's gonna make an attack against you, Ugo.
Okay.
Oh, 24 to hit.
And that hits.
Okay, not a crit.
Not crit. 17 AC at the moment.
Cool. That's 8 damage.
Okay.
And you need to make a fortitude saving throw for me, please.
Ooh.
Nice.
29,
Nice.
not 20.
Okay. Yeah, as he slashes you, you feel like the cut open as usual, and then you just feel this sudden like sharp pain coming through it, but you manage to sort of it doesn't do anything else. But like the pain seems to like be burning, almost as if the blade has sort of had some other effect. And then he's going to move. So 5, 10.
Okay. I'm going to use my reaction
Oh,
to
yeah, go on.
use no escape.
Okay.
So is that where he moves to?
Yes.
Okay, so that's gonna
Ugo, come back.
go to there.
Okay. This other guy is going to attack of opportunity then, I guess.
Oh shit.
He has an attack of opportunity. So that's going to be 26 to hit.
That hits. Not quite a crit. It's not far off though.
6 damage.
Okay.
And that is Eyeless's turn. That's this guy. He's gonna retreat back and hang on, where was he? 5, 10. That'd be 20, 25. He's an elf, so he gets one more. Here. So he's gonna flank you. And then he's gonna attack you again.
Okay.
Yeah, then he's going to attack you. Oh, 15 to hit.
That doesn't hit.
Okay. All right. Oh, that doesn't hit. Oh, fine. Sure. And then he's going to no, that's not what I want. All right. Okay. Then he is going to draw his shield from his back, and that's it.
Okay.
All right, Yarrow. Yarrow.
It doesn't matter what order you move or cast a spell in Pathfinder.
Well, it's you can't break up your movement in Pathfinder. A stride action is you can stride up to your movement, so it will take an action. So you can stride, attack, stride, or you can stride, attack, or attack, stride, or anything like that. So you can move like up to twice or 3 times your movement, potentially if you want.
No, it's just because I was trying to work out because I want to use my spell heal with 2 actions. So,
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just stride then, I suppose, first.
So what I'll do for the sake of simplicity, at the end of each round, I'll sort of describe what else is going on. So I don't have like loads of tokens on the map and stuff. So like, just imagine like Simeon and the halflings. They're part of this, but we'll focus it on the party for now. All right, 15 points of healing. Damn. How many actions
He's
were you using for that? 2.
casting a heal spell at Hugo.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay, and that was a 2-action heal.
Yes.
Okay, so that's your 3 actions then. Fantastic. Yeah. So so Ugo, you feel revitalized as Yarrow dashes forward and begins to patch up your wounds from afar. Right, Cascus, it's your turn.
This is weird. I can't see the map.
Oh.
You can't see the map.
No, it's suddenly. Don't worry, carry on. I'll fix it.
Yeah.
So just used device stratagem, and then I'm going to use, which I don't know, I didn't do in the last session, known weakness, which is a class feat I've got, which means that as part of the action to devise stratagem, I can also attempt to do a recall knowledge check as part. If I'm critically succeed this roll, I will notice a further weakness and gain an extra 1 circumstance bonus to my attack rolls from devised stratagem, which is basically, I think, +4 because of my intelligence modifier, or 3, one of the 2.
Okay.
So I need to do a recall knowledge check, which is a... what is a recall knowledge check? Is a... Oh, it could be a few things, can't it? We can determine. Last time we did nature because that was the type of creature. So I will
You
leave
can do
it there.
society if you want to learn more about elves. If you want
I
to
guess the question in his mind is about if maybe, like, I don't know, I guess this is more a specific individual, but is there any evidence of the magic glowy device nearby?
the Shadesteel.
No. So there was like I think Simeon mentioned like a blue orb or something earlier. Maybe I'm going crazy.
Blue orb.
Do you mean the thing that Cyan stole in session 1?
No. It was like, okay, well, if Mike doesn't remember, then I suppose that's
It was the
not an issue.
important. Was it the important thing that was stolen? The day-
Aha.
the
No,
day-
I don't know. I thought it was like. Anyway, okay. Let's just check for their AC. That'll be what the roll will be.
Hang on, just bear with me.
I think we do know.
Yeah, you know their
right?
AC. You
Yeah,
know
it
their
was-
AC anyway.
Yeah, it was 20.
Oh, fine. Okay. Okay. Let's. Is the shade still? Do they have the shade still?
That would be yeah. So I think you fail that check because you don't know what it looks like.
I haven't rolled yet.
Oh sure. The AC is going to be 25.
Oh, okay.
DC is going to be 25 for that.
Okay. Well, I need to do it anyway because if I crit succeed, no, I won't there. Anyway, if it sounds like it. Anyway, so that's fine.
Okay, so that's just a
messy.
regular. That's just a regular fail. Yeah, you can't. You're not sure. The blade he's carrying is very much different to the blade that the other guy's carrying. The other guy's carrying seemingly more like a more normal elven blade, but
Okay. Cool. So with that roll, I know that I can hit. I will make this hit if this works. So well, if it works, that's fine. Do I need to roll anything to jump up the ledge? Actually, shit.
no, that's just a bit of random.
Alright.
Gubbins, it's just not. Just don't think of it.
Actually, I can't actually reach anyway. Okay, fine. I guess I can't reach. That's kind of stupid on my behalf. Cascus will move up slightly, and maybe do like an intimidation shout against the elves. That's okay.
Sure.
So I need to do the intimidation roll.
Yeah. So. Are you?
I think it's called Frighten. I think it's called.
Frighten. Yeah, I think so. Oh no, intimidation skill, right?
Yeah.
Coerce, demoralize.
Demoralize. That's it. Demoralize.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Sorry, I had so many names I need to remember.
No, it's fine. There's a lot.
I remember doing it before. So, choose a creature within 30 feet. So this will be what's his face? Eyeless.
Yep.
30 feet, check. If the target does not understand the language speaking, take a -4 circumstance penalty to the check. Well, they'll recognize the language. That's fine. That doesn't matter. And if it succeeds, they'll become frightened 1. And it's against your will DC.
Yeah.
The target.
So that just passes actually. So ILS is frightened 1.
Cool.
Frightened.
And that'll be the end of his turn.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So what do you shout to intimidate him?
You'll find no solace anywhere but your own words or something.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Hanera.
I cast a level 3 magic missile. No, level 3. 3 actions.
Level 3 magic missile.
Just say you're cheating.
Oh damn, Mike's been playing favorites.
All right. Cool. 3 action.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you all choosing it on Eyeless then?
Yeah.
Cool.
3 4s.
Nice.
Nice, damn. And you get the +1 because of your dangerous magic.
Yeah.
So how much is that? 6, 12, 18?
Does that +1 apply to each missile?
It does.
Fence takes 18 damage.
Yeah, it does actually.
Poor Fence.
So 21.
Yeah,
No,
all right.
it's already applied.
Yeah, no, it's already
okay.
applied.
Oh, okay,
as
sorry.
part of it.
Why does it say Fence takes?
Just that's the thing I'm using. I didn't have an opportunity to like set the token up properly.
This'll teach you for your life of crime.
Fence takes. Yeah, he's just a fence. I'm a fence. All right, so you watch as there's a sort of like scuffle sounding from the trees behind all of you. As you all dash forward, a bunch of the halflings just immediately sort of like start running back and sort of like huddling together in a defensive position. The elves dash forward, and at the same time, you see a number of similarly armored elves popping out of the woods around here, and they're met by the elves in a clash over here. So at the moment, you guys are just safe with this going on. Simeon sort of like fighting at the front with them. Round 2. Right, so Cyan, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Round.
I'd like to use 2 things of movement to run over here, and then I'm going to cast Daze on the eyeless.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I can't use 2 because Daze is a 2 action
Yeah,
spell,
yeah.
apparently. So,
Most spells are 2 actions.
I guess that's my turn, and there's not really anything else I can do.
What? You don't want to do
I mean,
anything for your third
I
action?
can move, like, use my third action to move over here, I guess.
Okay,
And that's me.
fine. Cool,
Just
cool.
just making sure that is Eyeless, right?
No,
That's-
Eyeless is below Ugo.
Oh, could I have gone?
Yeah, you could have gone
Yeah.
down there. That's fine.
That's Scarabine.
Cheers.
That's a bit more beaten as well.
Yep, fine. Oh, as you enter Eyeless's as you enter, it was going to use an attack of opportunity on you.
And I use Nimble Dodge.
Sure, that's fine.
Cool.
So what does
So
Nimble
I get-
Dodge do?
I definitely dodge, gaining a +2 circumstance bonus to my AC against a triggering attack.
Fine. Okay.
So my AC is
And he's-
currently 19.
Okay, and he's frightened. So that's -1. 23 to hit.
Ah, yep.
What's your that's not a crit, is it?
No, my AC would have been 19.
Okay, fine. Right, so that's 7 damage on you.
Okay, that's fine.
And can you make a fortitude saving throw for me, please?
Hang on, let me just do. How much again?
7.
7. Okay, sorry. I'm doing.
7 piercing damage.
And fortitude save.
Yes, please.
Okay. Where do I find my saves? Sorry.
It's on the left, on the main part
Oh
of the
yes,
couch.
so it is. Fortitude. Oh fuck me.
Ooh, okay. So you take 7 more negative damage,
Okay.
and you're frightened 1. That's enfeebled. Hang on. Yeah, you as he lashes out to slash at you as you enter his square. As it slashes you, you feel this pain shooting from within, and then suddenly this like oily black smoke begins to sort of wrap around your body from outside it, and it's absolutely terrifying. You're not quite sure what that is. All right, Henning.
Okay. I'm going to sort this out. Yeah, this will be fine. So I'm going to move to. Let me move next to Yarrow. And
What is this like blue thing on the map?
Oh,
I
sorry.
don't
That's
know.
a thing that I did by accident. I don't know how to get rid of it.
Okay, so if you on the left, it's one of the buttons. It's the circle button, I think, and then that makes you do it. If you just highlight it, you should be able to delete it.
Oh, I've got rid of it. It's fine.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
He's done it again.
I was trying to. There we go.
All right, I know how to get rid of it now. It's fine. Cool.
I'm going to change my grip on the blunderbuss to one hand. That's a free action, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So change there. And I'm going to draw a alchemist fire bomb.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going to lob it. Sorry, the name has escaped me.
Eyeless.
Eyeless, that's it. Eyeless. I'm
Alice
going
in
to lob it at Eyeless.
Wonderland.
Take this. Hiya!
Hey.
20.
20. That hits.
Nice. And roll damage.
Yeah. And
5.
And 1 persistent fire damage as well.
1 persistent fire damage, yeah.
Where do I put the? How do I? Persistent damage. There we go. 1. All right, cool. Yeah, Eyeless sort of as it explodes on him, as the sun is now starting to go down, you just see this sort of like elf fighting for his life, just covered in flames as you guys are starting to surround him.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'll end my turn. Oh, can I use an action to reload the blunderbuss now?
So it was.
So I moved, and the
you
draw
moved,
and
you drew it.
froze. That it's
Moved,
one.
Oh, it's
loaded,
quick.
and-
It's quick draw. It's quick draw, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because I have quick bomber, so it's
Yeah.
a one action to do that. So can I use my last action to reload the blunderbuss?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Do that. I'd like to reload the blunderbuss.
All right. Cool. All right, Ugo.
Okay, gonna attack Eyeless with the maul. And should have a +2 because he is. Oh, what is it? Adding just a +1. 2. Good. Modifier must not be. Oh, I'll screw that. I'll just add it on in a sec. Okay, so that is a 27, I believe.
27.
Or is it already counting in the flat-footed, or the flanking?
No, it shouldn't do. So, oh right, so that would be a crit because his AC is 19, -2 is 17, so 27 is a crit.
Nice.
Yeah, his AC
Right.
was 20, then he got frightened to 19, then flat-footed. So yeah, that's a crit.
Well, so that's no, sorry. This is a 25. I was bumping it up rather than reducing the AC with the flat.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not a
Yeah,
crit.
two,
Then.
still-
But
yeah,
it,
two
it
up.
does hit. It's just a regular hit.
Okay, so it'll be this +6.
Nice.
20 damage.
Ooh, bam. Okay, cool. Yeah, he's looking pretty hurt.
I'm good. I know it's not the normal done thing, but I'm not sure what else I have to do, so I'm gonna swing again. I know it's looked down
What are you
upon.
doing? This is a
Harry
D&D.
hitting someone?
So it'll be -5. So that's 16.
That misses, unfortunately.
Okay, that was one.
Even
off,
even with his.
What do
Yeah,
I
so
find
the
anymore?
flat-footed reduces his AC rather than increases your attack.
Yeah.
So yeah, so 16. That misses.
Okay.
Close though.
It's just like it's like I was between turns, just like looking through things for me to do.
FYI, you can actually in your character sheet there is an option to do it with a multi-attack penalty next to it.
Oh right, yeah, map.
Yeah. So
Yeah, map
so
-5,
just
yeah.
it's a lot easier if you use that.
I'm sorry, I'm struggling to think of other things to do.
Demoralize, recall knowledge.
Trained stuff. I can try and demoralize him. Try and up that frightened.
Yeah, so the way that it works is it doesn't stack, but if you get a critical success, it will go up to 2 instead of 1.
Okay. I'll try and
There's usually-
I'll try and demoralize the guy above.
Okay. Right. So make a intimidation check then.
Okay. $11.
That doesn't succeed, I'm afraid.
Might be better off just attacking, to be honest.
Yeah. All right.
-10 to
Yeah,
attack.
that's it for me.
Okay. Eyeless, pretty looking quite scared. He's going to take a potion out of his bag as an action. He's going to drink it as another action. And let's have a look.
Another good one to do is feint. You need to be trained in deception, but it's pretty good.
I'm not trained in deception. I'm only trained in athletics and survival.
All right, he is healed, and then he is going to lash out. He's going to move. What's he going to do? He's going to move back here, He's not going to attack. Actually, he's going to move there. Can you see there's blood here, by the way? Whenever anyone a token takes damage, blood
Cool.
like pours out of them. It's quite so cool.
Pretty metal.
I suppose there's not much point me following him, is there? I might as well. Yeah, I'll use my reaction again to follow and get either side of him.
All right, this other guy is going to use an attack of opportunity on you then.
Okay.
17.
That just hits.
Oh damn. That's 9 points of damage.
Okay.
How many spell slots does people have left, by the way?
I've got 2 left.
Because you haven't had a long rest today, FYI.
Wait, do I get an extra spell slot for leveling up? Because I just assumed that I did. Because my spells go up to 4, so I assumed my spell slots went up to 4, but I don't
Yeah,
actually know.
I think
didn't
so.
actually check. Okay, cool. Yeah, I only used 1 spell in the last fight.
Okay. Yeah, just like try and stay on top of that because we technically haven't had a long rest yet. So if the leveling up will give you an extra spell slot, but it obviously doesn't refresh everything. But it'll be okay for the heals and stuff. But I think you're probably quite low on resources at this point. Anyway, moving on. Right, that's Eyeless's turn. Then the other guy. He's gonna just rush up and attack you, Cyan.
Lovely.
Good night, sweet sire.
19 to hit.
That will hit.
That's 11 damage.
Okay, I think that means... No, I'm still up! Please.
I was about to say, I will add to the death counter.
I'm going to. All right, and then he's going to attack again with his multiple attack penalty.
Fuck's
Oh, yeah,
sake.
I'll get Zach's death counter up one moment.
You go fuck yourself. That was Gothric. This is someone else.
That's 12 to hit.
That will miss.
Okay, he misses that one. All right, Yarrow.
And hey, and it wasn't just Gothric.
Shush. You go shush yourself.
All right,
So
Yarrow.
did we get another spell slot for leveling up then?
Yeah. So.
I don't know if it's the same for clerics.
You have to look at your class like tracker and to see what spell slots you have. I think you probably do.
I think in the last fight I didn't use up all my spell slots because it says that I haven't used them up unless I accidentally reset them when I
You
leveled
might.
up.
I know you used 2 heals last time, so you had 2 spell slots last time, and then so you have 3 spell slots now. But you remember you have your what they called fonts that you use as well. So
Yeah, that I use that for my healing spells. I get
so you
2 of
use
them.
you use 2 fonts. That's definitely for sure, and I think that was it. I don't think you
cool.
used your
I
main.
thought that was
spell
the case. But I was just because you said that we were running out of resources. I was like, shit, have I just forgotten?
Oh no, I just wanted people to check because it looked like everyone had reset their tokens and stuff, but I'm not sure if that was true.
Okay, cool. So Yarrow's gonna kind of slash at the air with her scythe, and as she does so, like mist and water in the air just form an icicle, which she launches at the remaining elf guy.
Which one? The guy next to Cyan.
Which other
Wait,
one is visible
guy-
within sight? Because I thought the other guy ran away.
No, he's just there.
I mean, he doesn't look like he's in range though, so
Oh yeah.
probably makes sense that she would target the one that's within range.
What is your range on icicle? 30.
Oh, it's actually 60.
Oh yeah, he is in range.
Is he? Okay. Alright, then she'll go for I've forgotten his name.
Eyeless.
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 I'd like to think of him as being eyeless.
Eyeless, as he's soon to be when the icicle hits him in the face. Ba-dum-sh.
Iceless.
15. That misses, I'm afraid.
Modifier.
Yeah, no, that misses, I'm afraid. Sorry. As it shoots out, it just sort of goes past his shoulder into the woods. What else would you like to do? You have one more action, I think. Okay, in that case, Cascus.
He is. Cascus is gonna. So I'm 25 feet now. So he's gonna do a device stratagem, and I will do the recall knowledge as well. Maybe like I don't know vulnerabilities or something. But that's not the important part necessarily. So that's a 12 there. What was the AC of the? It was 20, wasn't it?
Of what?
Of the elves.
Well, it depends what you want to know
The
about.
close. Well, I just like their AC is 20, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so regardless of what I do, I don't think I'm gonna land the hit. I think. So actually, it's kind of pointless me attacking this turn. So in that case, what I might do instead is move up to. If I can move my character. Move up. Oh my god. Move up to here. I'm going to use my quick draw action from my duelist dedication.
Okay.
So I will just. No, I won't. I'm going to stand here like a moron instead and use paint, which is a deception check. Quite cool the device stratagem thing because I know I'll miss. You instead do something else. So that's an 11 on the deception check, and it's against the perception DC of the enemy creature. No, it's not. Sorry, it's against the. Yeah, no, it is right. That is right. Perception
Against
DC.
perception DC.
That's correct.
That just succeeds actually.
Okay, so your foe is fooled, but only momentarily. The target is flat-footed against the next melee attack that you attempt against it before the end of your current turn. So-
Okay, well, do you want to rethink that last action?
Yeah, go on. Let's can I do like a trip? Is that I don't know how to do a trip action.
Trip? Yeah, I think so.
Nice trip.
2e.
So
Trip.
athletics.
The next hole.
So here we go. You try to knock a creature to the ground. Attempt an athletics check against the target's reflexes DC.
Fine. But you're gonna have to use the same roll, I'm afraid.
That's fine. That's
This is
fine.
just add the new modifier.
That's whatever.
So it's 6 plus whatever your modifier is.
0.
Okay, no, that fails unfortunately.
Okay, fine. It's alright. It was a it's fine.
All right. Okay. Right. In that case,
I need to figure out this roll. Goodness.
Hinera.
Magic missile on Eyeless.
Okay.
2. Another 2. 4.
Was that 15 in total?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. He's looking really hurt again.
That's my turn.
All right. So as the fight continues, you notice that a number of the Sidan, the sort of like the evil elves, they say, fighting the Rogerans, they seem to be like losing ground. There's actually not as many of them as you first thought came out of the woods. And as you, Ugo, as you look behind you, you see a whole number of Rogerans in the woods, just like completely, just like 2-on-1, completely decimating the group of them that are there. Led by the elf that has returned, Diok. So you see them fighting in the woods behind you. Seeing this, Eyeless, as he's trying to like go around you, like he's like looking into the woods and he knows the gig's up. Like, he's like starting to like put his hands up. But it's your choice what you guys do. So.
Oh, it's me.
This is your turn, yeah.
How's the guy in front of me looking?
He hasn't been attacked once yet.
Oh, fuck. Do I see Eyeless begin to surrender?
Yeah, this guy is just actually this guy's not actually focused on like offensively attacking you guys. Like the guy in front of you is now at this point starting to like wanting to retreat and.
Can I try and convince this guy in front of me? You've got no fucking chance here, mate.
Yeah, make a just diplomacy check.
Okay. Diplomacy. No. Okay.
Okay. All right. It looks like he's quite convinced. Like he's starting to like fall back a bit. He's not actively looking like he's going to attack you now at this point.
Can I also, just to double check, try to disarm him? Because my rapier has the disarm thingy.
Sure. Let me just see how that works. Disarm. You can use this weapon to disarm with the athletic skill feat, even if you don't have a free hand. This is the weapon's reach. Oh yeah, here we are. Disarm. You try. So you need to make a athletics check against its reflex DC.
Okay. Come on, roll high. 21.
Hey, that's it. Yeah. So as he stands there, you sort of like Zorro the sword out of his hand, and it flips up and just embeds itself into a tree nearby. And the guy just like puts his hand up. The gig's up. The Rogerans in the woods who are fighting like are beginning to clear things up. And these two are no longer there. Eyeless puts his sword down and just drops to his knees and says, "Then I guess you've got me."
Yes, we do.
All right. And the encounter there, unless people want to like do anything else particularly, but we don't have to do that in turn order.
Shotgun edge.
I want to tie him up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ugo's just like he was just like about to raise his hammer. Just kind of looks disappointed. Kind of looks disappointed as they like start surrendering. Oh.
Go.
Can Cascus grab Ugo for a second?
He doesn't get his murder quota in for the day.
He's okay. Is not fun if they do not resist.
Ugo, a second.
Hmm.
Do you care to explain that?
Explain what?
Well, 1 minute we're having a civil conversation, they say it's their time to go, and then you start charging up with a hammer.
Did you not see arrows and fighting?
They were coming from the Rotrans, not from the Sidans.
What is problem? We win.
It's no matter what the problem is. You're giving us a bad name, We do not go throwing our weight around like this.
We literally join Adventurers Guild. What did you think was going to happen?
We are not. We are here. Oh, go.
All right.
We've already explained this once before. The Adventuring Guild is a means to more money. We get access to the civilization within. We make business. We come back. It is a means to an end. It is all. These
All right.
people are.
As you guys are sort of just like having that conversation, sorry, the Rodrons in the woods are like rounding up all of the elves as they're starting to surrender. A few of them have died, but most of there's maybe like 40 or 50 Rodrons in the woods now, and they've like rounded up the vast majority of them. Maybe only about 10 of on each side has died. None of the halflings have been injured in any way. And the second any fighting broke out, they all just scattered basically and hid.
Of course.
What can you do? Yarrow, your mother runs up and gives you a hug. She says, "Oh, that was so terrifying."
Oh, calm down, Mother. It's nothing. It's fine. Look, we won.
As the elves are rounded up and they're all brought to the sort of main square, I'll just activate this for now, for the last little bit. Diok, having led the sort of group of Rodrons out of the woods, comes to you all. Simeon looks quite injured, like he's been hurt in the fight, but he's like, "Oh, I'll be fine."
Can I do treat wounds on him?
Yeah. That takes 10 minutes. So as you're sort of doing that, Diok says, "What have we done now? Now everyone's aware of us in these woods. Word is going to spread for sure." Nice, cool. Simeon says to all of you, he says, "I think it would have just been better if you let them take me." He's sort of laughing to himself. It's a joke. And you watch as like a whole bunch of like the reinforcements of the elves are sort of beginning to cut off a number of them. Diok says, "And what do we do about this group, huh? They know where our portal is."
Have we
Well.
not just proven our worth?
Simeon says, "I think that perhaps the Kaeda should make that decision." He turns to you all and says, "I know this might be quite a ask, but there are things that I think that you all need to know. And now that you've been drawn into this, I want to take you to our leader."
Are you asking us or are you telling us?
See it as a favor for helping. We could have Diok says, "We could have easily let your town get overrun. We have lost people here. The Kayadar will want to speak to you all."
Okay, we'll do it, but we need to interrogate Eyeless first.
Do not worry. We will take them on the road with us.
Okay.
He turns to you, Yarrow, and Simeon also, and says, I think the Kayadar would like to speak to you too, as you know where the archway is."
If he's that keen to speak to me, I guess I better come along then.
He chuckles to himself. "You will be treated well. This is something that we have not really done before. You see, we like to keep to ourselves."
Mr. We.
Your mum, Yarrow, says, "Wait, you're gonna go again? Oh."
Hide behind your skirts forever. You know I'm not meant to be in the fields.
You're right, Yarrow. I left home when I was your age. But you never think that day would come.
I mean, you were forced out of your home. It's a little bit different. I'm choosing to go because I want to see a bit more of the world, and this just seems like a fair opportunity.
You're right. Your father, Jonald, comes out, obviously having hid during the fight, sort of like brushes his jacket and says, well, that I showed them off.
Oh yes, you really showed them.
Right, you did, Pa.
He sort of grabs you by the shoulders, just quite lovingly, and just looks you in the eyes and says, if you're gonna go out on an adventure, make sure you visit from time to time. I don't want, this to be the last we see of you.
It won't be the last you see of me. Like, I'm probably not even going to go that far.
You also see a couple of people, a couple of the halflings dragging the mayor out of hiding under a bin. One of them says, "We found this letter. Look." And as your father opens it up and reads it, Yarrow, you see over his shoulder, the mayor has made like a deal with the elves. Like, clearly that they had come and visited him before this, and this was the plan all along, to stop any violence. And your father's like, wait, you worked with them? And the mayor's like, no, I didn't. I did nothing.
You're a bloody traitor.
One of the halflings that is like holding him says, "We found him hiding. He's got a bag of elven gold as well."
No.
You bloody bastard!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's like he sort of like starts crying. I just didn't want anyone to harm us.
You should be easy on him. He's just being very pragmatic.
For once, I kind of agree with Cascus. Vinay looks very visibly pained as he says this. Probably because he's got several wounds, probably because Cascus. But, yeah, he says, it's just, he had good intentions. Maybe.
Jonald says, "They took my son."
Secrets. We don't keep secrets amongst our own kind. We don't offer up our kids as insurance. That is not okay.
A number of the halflings that have now come out of the houses are nodding in agreement, and they're like, "Yeah, we fight together, we die together."
What he's done is gone behind our backs, and that's not okay. We would never have agreed to put up our children as insurance. He could put himself up as insurance if he wants to, not our kids.
Yeah, you see on the letter that was also agreed that he's not going to let people know that they had been taken as long as they're not badly treated and stuff. Yeah.
I changed my mind. What an asshole.
Damn.
But right, well maybe let's stop there then, shall we?
Can we take a long rest at the inn before we go back?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm on 1 HP. I would rather some healing before we leave.
Yeah, the elves aren't going to want to go immediately.
Yeah, okay.
They're gonna stay in the village until at least the morning.
So how does healing on the long rest work?
Right. Don't do it just yet. I'll explain it over the week. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Do you want to sort the stream out, Richard? Thanks for watching and thanks for playing, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank
see you
you.
next
See you
week.
again next time. Yeah.
Goodbye.
I somehow didn't die.